What in tar nation? What? I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com. I'm a blind film critic, and this is Rebuilding. This is my review of Rebuilding. It's coming for Oscars. I know you didn't know anything about it, but it is. It's floating around the for your consideration circle right now. It has, when I last checked it, like a 95% of Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm gonna be expanding that down, maybe, perhaps, in the so what is it? It's about a rancher who lives in this community that's just been absolutely decimated by natural disaster. We don't get to see the natural disaster because this is a slow, meditative drama, and it's about life. It's like somebody watched Nomadland and was like, but what if we were slower? What if? It's like watching the zombies in Night of the Living Dead, but they're in slow-mo. It's like they're already moving slow, and then you slow them down even more. I thought this movie was so slow. So slow. Is it bad? No, it's not bad. I think Josh O'Connor gives a lovely performance here, and he's, considering what I keep seeing him do, I love that he keeps tackling roles like this. Like, if nothing else, is on a higher end of my nose, like don't want, no. Because I think there's some beauty in the film. I think Josh O'Connor's performance is strong. I don't know that this is even his best performance of the year. He's been in a lot of movies. I don't know how he has the time, but he seems to hop around a lot, and he's picked up this great sort of rural accent, Midwestern American, I'm a cowboy, type of accent, but so he's rebuilding, guys. That's what the movie's about. So is this community. He spends some time in the film with his daughter. He doesn't really have a place. There's a community full of people there that all kind of lost their homes, and they're all trying to survive this natural disaster with sort of relief efforts that are going in, which I appreciated the film for, showing sort of what these people go through in terms of relief and how hard it is, and spoiler alert, kind of what he goes through in terms of, with the bank and his property when he wants to try to rebuild, and the realities of this kind of thing. We always wonder why people continue to live in like floodplains, and it can be really hard to get out of them. Like, because nobody wants to buy your land, and you're poor and you're constantly being inundated with floods. So it's not like, unless you hit the lottery and move your family up out of the floodplain, it can be kind of hard to do that because the bank doesn't see any value in your property. And they kind of find out that what happens to land after a fire is that the bank doesn't see, value in their property at all. So when you think about all of these acres of land that burn every year, and somebody owns them, and somebody's trying to get, money to fix and rebuild or put things back up, rebuilding a sort of representation of that. It's just so slow. I was 30 minutes into this movie and I thought it was an hour at least. And I looked at the time, I was like, oh my God. And I thought I'd been in this film for so long. Every time I looked at I kept looking at my watch. Like, so many times I wanted to do anything else. I wanted to jump out of a window. I just wanted, like, I felt like I was trapped by this movie, and it was only like 95 minutes. Like, that's the sad thing is, it's like 95 minutes of my life. It's the opposite of Train Dreams. Train Dreams is roughly the same runtime. It's about like 102 minutes. It's a little bit shorter. I think this was like 97. Um, and I didn't look at my watch at all during Train Dreams. I was fascinated by Train Dreams. I was like, Train Dreams is great. It's a beautiful story. Love this. This is amazing. And I watched Rebuilding and I was like, I took up, like just like scratching at my skin just to see if I could, itch words into this. I thought about, trying to stay awake. Like I have been, there are very few films this year where I have been like more bored than this film. And I can't ignore that. I cannot like, it's such a hard and like unquantifiable thing to say because you may not be bored by this film, but somebody else might be. And to continue to just stand up and be like, yeah, this film's great. Everybody loved it. It's artistic, and I loved it, and it was amazing. I want to be part of that 95%. Please don't look at me like I'm a weirdo. Please don't. Don't. I also wasn't given audio description for this, so I can be part of it. But I mean, I've sat through films without audio description and also not been this bored before. So I've sat through films not in the English language and not been this bored before. Like, I don't know what it was about this film and its pacing and the fact of its plot, its structure, and what it's asking me and how it's advancing its story. And me just going like, can we get there any faster? Is there any more to this movie? What is happening in this film? I feel like this whole film is 15 minutes of a larger movie, but it's stretched into a feature. Like, it feels like this is the first part of the film, right? Where the second act of a film where, you see the family and then like pre-natural disaster, and then natural disaster comes in and wipes the family out. And then there's the middle like rebuilding phase. And then at the end of the film, you see the film and like where the family is now and how they either have to like leave the home behind and start a new life, or they're able to rebuild in spite of everything, and community comes together to rise up above the banks and everything, and still whatever it is. It feels like that there's like more to this film, but this film has just chosen this one little segment and then stretched that out into feature length, and so it doesn't work. It's because it feels like it's a smaller part of a larger part, and just bloated to make a feature and stretched for time. So that it feels like I would have appreciated it more if it had just been honest about its story and its lack thereof, and come in at something like 73 minutes. Like, who cares? Like, you don't even have to be 97 minutes. Like, pacing, if your film is already what this is, there's no requirement for you to break 90 minutes. You can come in at 80, or whatever, just fine. And I wonder if shaving 15 minutes off of this movie wouldn't have paced it better. It's sad that a film at 97 minutes is slow, but at the same time, a lot of times when you look at pacing, it just, does everything need to be there? Are we, did we over include too much? Is this the right runtime for the audience? So I don't know. I don't know how audiences are going to play to Rebuilding. I don't know how they're going to play to Train Dreams. So, but I know that I did not like Rebuilding, and I can't say that I did. I do, however, and would not ever take away from the fact that Josh O'Connor's performance here is just one more reason why this dude is coming for an Oscar at some point. I don't think he's coming for it this year because all of his movies are like Rebuilding, and they're all really small movies, and nobody seems to really be paying attention to any of them. But at some point, this dude's going to get in the right movie with the right role because he's building up street cred. That's all he's doing right now. Or he could end up being like Clifton Collins Jr. and just spend a life of doing really great work and then get something like Jockey, and then it still isn't big enough, So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this is a no for me. on Rebuilding. I'm going to give Rebuilding a 5.1 out of 10. I think it might be pretty to look at. It might be well shot. Some stuff if you're sighted. If you're not sighted, I don't know if this has audio description. I think it's Bleecker Street, so I can't even fully say, because typically they have audio description, but I have seen it without. But this is English. I can't imagine they don't have audio description on it. I just didn't get it, which is kind of typical. But anyway, them's my thoughts. And it's not fun to be on the gambling side of this and to be part of that like tiny percentage of people when everybody's like, I love this movie, and for me to be putting out a review that's like, I don't. Well, that's why we should have blind film critics, because they don't know what's going on. It's like, yeah, but if I just played it easy and just said I liked it, I'd be lying. It would just be like, hey, I liked this movie along with everyone else, but I didn't like the movie. So what am I even doing here if I just start making up bullshit opinions to match other critics so that I don't stand out from the pack? Like, oh, I must merge my mind with that of other people. So whatever. I didn't like Rebuilding. 5.1 out of 10. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.